Check it out, guys, I'm back with my video response to episode 265, the NAMM episode, or NAMM, and really cool stuff, and a new part of the team, Eric. I thought, you ask a lot of good questions, and yeah, Eric responds really well to the people interviewing. Sometimes I'm interviewing some of the people, or that make the products I love. I'd be like a, sort of like a little, I guess, like a groupie or something, like hi. But that was really cool. Really enjoyed the episode, and yeah, I noticed now I haven't really been on the internet all that much, and people like, especially on Facebook, like Premier Guitar just flood you with absolute information overload on NAMM. And it would be quite interesting to think about. It'd be quite surreal to actually be there and in that environment, to be part of that as well, because I understand it's by invitation only. So that's really, really cool that people can get in, and Larry was there as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward. I haven't listened to the next episode, which I'm just downloading as we speak, 266, but I'll make this one real quick, guys. And to celebrate NAMM, here we are, Kiss Beer Destroy. I don't know what this is going to taste like, so that thing will focus. Come on, camera, you can do it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's try it. Celebration. It says the hottest beer in the world. The hottest beer in the world, people. That's right. Just in case you didn't know. It's a bit hard to open. Here we go. Oh. It's not very good. So, it's not cheap either. I guess you're paying for the name. Anyway, it's a celebration. At the end of the day, beer's beer, I guess. So they're 4.7% alcohol. Nice. So let's just get into it real quickly, and the ramblings at the beginning. It's interesting. A lot of people pass judgment about a podcast. One thing that really upsets me personally about a lot of podcasts out there is when people just don't put any effort into the audio production. That's what it's about. It's a podcast. It's like a radio show. And, and I'll just say bluntly, any idiot out there, a lot of people think they can just, I'll just grab my phone and record on that. That'll do. There's a microphone for you. Done. I'll use the dodgy microphone that comes with my laptop and things like that. Some laptops are pretty good, like on the Mac, but yeah, and then people will listen to a podcast and they pass judgment straight away. And I like the Bliss, if you guys haven't really noticed by now. I like it a lot. I like the conversational aspect of the podcast, the stories about the hosts, backgrounds, and that sort of thing. Random chatter. And that's what makes SixStringBliss. And it's interesting that you're saying a lot of people download the NAMM episodes, but they don't really download as much with the other episodes. So that is quite interesting. I guess everyone just wants to know what cool gear is coming out. What's the next big thing? The next big thing is already here, apparently. The Samsung Galaxy S3. I don't have my phone here. I was going to hold it up, the iPhone. So I understand what they mean. When I first heard the Bliss, I was looking for a guitar podcast many years ago. Podcasting was still kind of new, and I remember I used to listen to just a audio podcast called Pod Squad, which has now changed into Media Gear, and they don't do very many podcasts anymore. And I thought, well, if there's this type of sort of internet show, there has to be a guitar one. And there are a few different guitar podcasts which were more lessons or teachings, and I wasn't really interested in any of those things because I find a lot of them hard to follow. And then I found SixStringBliss, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered. So, but I can see that if people don't like it, I guess, unfortunately, just don't listen to it. But you're missing out. So if anyone's, for some reason, looking at my videos thinking, what is this guy talking about? Why does he have a whole channel dedicated to these video responses? This is why. Great content, great hosts, and a fun time. So let's talk about just the basic things at the beginning, and we'll get into a few of the things that were mentioned in the episode with NAMM. The Marshall fridge. When I first saw that thing, I swear I saw that on the SixStringBliss forum a while ago, maybe 6 months ago, like Larry was saying, Laughing Larry. And when I first saw it, I remember, actually I saw it on Facebook, because I didn't go on Facebook much either. And people are going mental. There's all these comments on it. It's like, yeah, it's a cab. Wow. Then I realized it's a bar fridge. That's awesome. So a lot of my friends have always said, you know, when I get my own place, I want a bar fridge and that. Or people say to me, you know, you live by yourself. Why don't you get a bar fridge? Why don't you do this? Why? I have a fridge. I have a huge fridge. I don't need a bar fridge. It never really occurred to me. But now after seeing that thing, now, I'm not really big on Marshall amps. I do like the Marshall sort of that British, more of the British than the American tone I like, but I've never really had that much of a desire, apart from when I was starting out playing guitar, to actually own a Marshall. These days I don't really have any desire, apart from those 1-watt all-valve head little tiny things that are basically in each era of amp that came out. Those I'm really interested in. But I've never been a huge fan of just Marshall amplifiers. Maybe it's because, you know, every man, dog, woman, child, and small mammal would say, yeah, got to have a Marshall. You know, I'm playing guitar, got to have a Marshall. Maybe that's why. Maybe it was too cliche for me or something. But after seeing that fridge, I tell you what, I want one too. And I could fill it full of Kiss beer. Great time. Starting to grow on me. It's a little, yeah, you might like it. So yeah, I think if you have your own office and you've got the ability to put one in there, pipes, don't hold back at all. So what next? What were you, other guys? What things were you talking about? PT playing Blackbird. The Beatles. That song. I remember I had a guitar teacher that didn't really teach me how to play guitar. And he was a little intimidated for some strange, silly reason. He's the guitar teacher. And I don't know why, but when I said I want to play metal, so in the words of Swiska, I only plays metal, he wanted me to play the Beatles' Blackbird. I said, fine, you know what, I've got an acoustic guitar, I'll give it a shot. And it's not as difficult as people think. The picking pattern is the same. It's the same sequence with your fingers. It is a little weird compared to other picking, you know, traditional style finger picking. But if anyone out there like PT, what you've discovered is it's not a hard song to actually play. It's all the same, and it's so in your left hand, or your fretting hand, I should say, for people there that are left-handed. It's so fluid the way it moves. It's unbelievable, because when you move your hand, you're hitting an open string while you've got that finger picking pattern going. And everything just links up. So it's a really nice song to play. I grew up on a lot of Beatles. My parents used to play the Beatles a lot when I was a wee little lass. So yeah, and I ended up playing that song. I played it for one of the SixStringBliss albums. I believe it was the British Are Coming or something like that. Not too sure. So yeah, I know what you mean, but I think it's a really cool song. And if you take that out, because a lot of people that don't play music really aren't very impressed if you can play guitar. Even if you can shred like a million miles an hour, if you've got some intricate guitar work, they're more impressed if you can strum a few chords and sing a tune. However, when you pull out a nice song like that, like Blackbird, that most people know, it even captivates an audience who are not guitar players, who are not musicians. So I think it's a really cool song. So anyway, let's get into a bit of the NAMM show here. Just a couple of things to highlight. I've obviously pulled up the SixStringBliss page because my memory isn't that good. Let's talk about the Trem King. That's one thing that really stuck in my mind, the Trem King tremolo system, which I found interesting that the block moves and not the actual whole plate, you know, the saddles stay fixed and that sort of thing. So I was really interested in that, and on the train ride into work, I was looking it up on my phone, and sadly, I got a lot of reviews that were negative about it, saying that it's not what you think it is. It needs a lot of maintenance, and it's you know, it works and all, but it's not perfect. So that's really, really interesting, because I thought it was a pretty good idea the way they're explaining it, especially how it's got the opposing spring tensions. It's kind of like the Ibanez 0 point locking trems. They got the same thing, springs in the opposite direction. But I guess at the end of the day, the best tremolo is still the Floyd, still the double locking tremolo. So there you go. A couple other things. I'm just going to mention one more thing so I don't keep talking in this, because I want to listen to the next episode. Now, what were they called? The fingertip paint glue, whatever it is called, as I look here, rock tips. Rock tips. I think that is one of the best ideas to come out in a very long time. I remember even watching videos when I first heard of Orianthi, and people say, oh, she's Australian, you got to check her out. And that I was listening to an interview with her, I think it was some podcast, or maybe it was on YouTube or something, and she was saying that her tech super glues her fingertips every night because she likes thicker gauge strings and likes to bend and that. Every night! That is insane! And I can only imagine a lot of professionals, so many people out there may not be blessed with very, very thick calloused fingertips and would need something like this. And it's also good, if you don't play guitar in a long time, I can see how it's a real benefit to put it on there. Sometimes when you're doing those big bends, and that it just won't hurt as much. I've never really had a problem with building calluses. If I don't play for a long time and start playing after a week, I've got some seriously tough calluses, to the point where if I use a keyboard, not a keyboard, a trackpad on my laptop with my left hand, my fretting hand, with the tips of my fingers, it does not pick it up. So it doesn't pick up the movement. But yeah, I think that is a brilliant, brilliant product. Like something sort of out of left field too, because you think of technology, you think of you know, new effects, new amplifiers, exotic guitars, that sort of thing. You don't think of the little things like that. Well, I don't, and that's really opened up my mind. So, guys, thank you very much, and very special thanks to Eric for bringing us these great, great interviews there at NAMM. But I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to finish drinking my Kiss beer, guys. But anyway, thanks again for the episode. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to listen to the next one. So everyone, listen. Oh, guys, just before I forget, a big thank you to the host for playing my song, Lonely Gone. Listening back to that, I was really cringing when I heard the vocals. Ooh, that was many, many moons ago. That's an original, if anyone doesn't know, that I wrote. Surprise, surprise, about a chick you can't get. But yeah, thanks very much. I actually forgot that I wrote and recorded that song. So yeah, it was very, very surprising to hear it on the podcast. I actually forgot that I sent that in. So hopefully one day I'll start writing music again. This time something more up-tempo and a bit more metal. But again, guys, thanks very much for playing my song. Much appreciated.